Man, I thought I was done talking about these boys, but what took place towards the end of that stream, watching all three quarterbacks throw a pick in the same game, how does that possibly happen? Matt Ryan threw a pick, Felipe Franks threw a pick, and Josh Rosen threw a pick. Tonight might have changed my opinion on the Falcons need not to take a quarterback in the first round. They may be doing that immediately because Felipe Franks is not our future. Josh Rosen is not our future. Matt Ryan will be fortunate to be on this team. Unfortunately, Matt's contract is the big problem. So if Matt does want out of here, we're going to have to get off the contract. This team got to go ahead and start the blow-up process because what we saw tonight was just an absolutely embarrassing effort from that squad. They didn't care tonight. The Patriots, I'm looking at, I'll have the post-game live up right now. The Patriots had 4 picks tonight, 12 quarterback hits, and 4 sacks. There is absolutely nothing that anyone can say to excuse how bad the Falcons looked tonight. We thought the game against the Cowboys was bad. I'm willing to bet this game was worse. Dallas has a outstanding offense. The defense had a bad showing last week. Tonight, they did not play as bad. Like, they held them to field goals on a lot of possessions, but the reality was the offense was so freaking bad, this team just fell apart today. You got to the red zone 2 times. You had a missed field goal by Young Hoku that don't happen on a regular basis. Then you had one of the most boneheaded third and fourth down play calls back to back. Like, I don't really understand this team at this point. I don't understand this team, and I don't understand at this point, this team just. I hate that it's 8 games remaining. Well, how many games? I hate that it's 7 games remaining in the season. Like, I don't want to see no more of this. I don't know about the rest of you guys. I don't want to see no more of this, to be honest with you. Tavares, what's up, bro? He said the Falcons is trash. Yes, they are. I don't want to see any more of this for the rest of the season. And we were talking about the attendance being bad to start the game out. Look at what they saw on the field. Look what they saw on the field at this point. Nobody wants to go to the games and see that. Who's going to go watch that? AJ, what's going on? He said, I wonder how we. Yes, when you put a bad product on the field with the combination of everything else that goes on, that's what you get. That effort which you just saw. That was a disgrace. And I don't even let myself get upset about how these games look at this point because we know what we have on that football field. But at some point, you got to have some type of heart. You are on national TV and lost 25-0. That's not a good look at all for you. You have not won a home game this year. Every home game that the Falcons have played, with the exception of the Washington game, has been at least close to a double-digit or bigger loss. They got smoked by the Eagles at home. They got smoked by the Patriots at home. The Panther game was never close. Washington blew the lead. The Jets game was in London. That's not a home win. They do not need to count as a home win. This team has played absolutely awful the last 4 days. I'm not going to say the last week. They played 2 games in 4 days, and they should have just stayed at home if they're going to play like that. Totally embarrassing. Tavares, how do we throw 4 picks in 5 minutes? I don't understand either. I don't even understand. He also said both backups had to go. Yeah, those guys are not the future at all. By any means, it's not the future. Byron said, good game. What's going on, bro? Good game. You guys had a dominant performance, and that definitely could play a big part in the AFC playoff picture for the Patriots. That could be a huge win for the Patriots going forward in their playoff push in the AFC. That's a team that's winning, despite everything. Devon said 2 straight games we don't score a touchdown. No, it's embarrassing. You invested your number 1 pick on Kyle Pitts. I'm not sitting here blaming Kyle Pitts, saying Kyle Pitts is a bad guy, anything like that. But at the end of the day, you put a number 4 pick on Kyle Pitts, and your offense have scored 3 points in the last 4 days. There is a very embarrassing. That's embarrassing on so many levels. Yes, sir. I'm back. I had to come talk a little bit more. Tavash said every game that we've lost, we got our butt whooped. Every game we won, we barely won. Yes. To be honest with you, the game that we almost blew the lead against the Jets, we blew the lead in the other 3 wins, had to come back and win at the end, which was embarrassing. Z-Gang said that Ryan has to go to. Yes, Matt Ryan is definitely not safe by any means, in my personal opinion. I think the contract is more the reason that he still has a little security with this point. I don't think Matt Ryan has any more as well, because Matt at one point could win us ball games despite a bad offensive line. He's 36. It's only so many hits you can take in your career at this point. You will be inhuman if it doesn't affect you at some point in your career, and I believe that's the thing. AJ also for us that Mac Jones won the game in Atlanta before Matt Ryan. Before this game, Matt won it. Yes, he won the SEC championship here with Alabama against Florida. Mac Jones is undefeated in Mercedes-Benz. And another embarrassing thing about this, the Falcons have not beaten the Patriots since the Super Bowl season in 1998. And guess what? We got the Jaguars in Jacksonville. Initially, I thought that was going to be a dub for the Falcons. And I don't know what we're going to see. They could go out there and beat us. He said, I don't care about the contract no more, Nate. Terry Font not use the contract to keep Ryan to please his boss. No, just to be honest with you, let me kind of show y'all the situation. I'm glad we're kind of discussing this contract. I'm gonna show y'all where the reality of this contract is. We kind of get into the topic of the future of this team, Matt Ryan's contract and everything. I'm gonna pull up. Let me go to Sports Track, and I want to just touch a little bit on that contract. Let me go to it. Give me a second. I just want to kind of go over that contract just a little bit. All right, so this is the Matt Ryan contract. Let me take myself off the screen so you guys can see it better, bigger screen than this. Right now, Matt Ryan have the 4th highest cap hit for a quarterback in the National Football League this season. Of course, he's number 1 with the Falcons in the cap hit. Now, here is the tricky thing for the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons do have an out. However, had we not restructured that Matt Ryan contract, we probably could have got out of that contract this year. But I don't think they're going to get out of that contract until probably, to be honest with you, when you look at this contract, it makes no sense to get out this contract until 23. I would personally start looking into getting Matt Ryan replacement this offseason, but to get out that contract again would be better in this year, because although Matt Ryan would be making, it'd be a $43 million cap hit, the dead hit is only 15. So to me, that would be your best option to take. You said how they got the Julio contract. To be honest with you, they're not out the Julio contract. Let me go to the Atlanta Falcons cap situation. I wanted to show where I know we've talked about they don't have no money, but I want to just show the fans that they don't wear. Let me go to Atlanta Falcons. Excuse me, guys. This is trying to pull this up. Atlanta Falcons. I'm I'm glad we got. Like I said, I'm glad that we're in this conversation right now. This is an interesting conversation. Okay, so as we can see, that's the contrast. I need to look for the salary cap table. 1 second. Salary cap 2021. Those are the active contracts. Okay, here we go. Now, look at the dead cap. The Falcons, that's the injury reserve cap. Excuse me. Let me go down further. This is the 2021 dead cap of the Atlanta Falcons. As you see, although Julio got traded, Julio is still 4% of our cap because he has a $7.7 million cap hit. Desmond Trufant, who got cut in before 2020, still is on the books. James Carpenter still on the books. Ricardo Allen still on the books. Alec Bailey still on the books. Jamon Brown still on the books. So this is the dead cap that the Falcons are eating right now due to this deal. So this is the thing. Also, we're talking about this contract right here. I'm going to go to 2022. The Falcons got another situation on their hands for 22 because in 2022, as you can see right here, right now, the Falcons are going into 22 with $14 million of cap space. However, when you go deeper into this situation, Julio Jones is going to be on the books for $15 million of it. So at the end of the day, not really much you can do about that. Let's see. ZK said, "No, Nate, I understand the cap problem once we done this contract, but that shouldn't be an excuse not to rebuild. We should have drafted a quarterback and should have started to rebuild, but we didn't do it." No, I'm not disagreeing. I actually showed that contract based off the I actually showed that contract based off the question as far as like where's the Matt Ryan contract in that situation. That's what I wanted to come talk about. So that's our 2022 dead cap. So that's what we're going to be looking at in 22. Gary, what's going on, bro? He said Blank told y'all number 2 is going to retire Falcon. That's what's going on. That's why the owner hired the head coach, said the GM Smith was a rebuild transition head coach. Y'all better hold on tight. I agree with that. I think Matt Ryan will be I think he'll be done after 23. I can absolutely see that. I think he'll be done at 23. And that's the unfortunate situation. Savage said, "Is it possible for a team like the Colts to eat some of that dead cap?" I don't really know, honestly, because it's rough. Falcons in a rough spot because you've won 4 games, but you put yourself in a tough spot because they're last place in the South, of course, but the Lions are winless. The Jets have 2 wins, so you don't have you're not one of the worst teams in the league. You're not a playoff team. You're not a good team. You're not a playoff team, a contending team, or a good team. You are a bad team that just happened to win 4 games. You beat the Jets. That's the person that you're going to be behind in the draft. The Giants, another team going to be behind in the draft. Dolphins, another team going to be behind in the draft. And you have literally no draft capital at this point, and you have so many needs on this roster. What we saw tonight it's hard to really put into words how bad tonight's effort was from the Falcon organization, from the Falcons just in general. That Patriot defense looked like they were the 1975 Steelers. Plain and simple. JD said, "If I was Atlanta, I'll bring back the 4-3 defense, draft and sign at least 6 running backs, find a head coach as the motivator and inspiring players." And Nate, listen, I've been talking to you about it too. I already done mapped out how I would blow this roster up. They don't want to know how I would blow the roster up because if it was up to me, boy, the fan base would not like me. They wouldn't like what I would do. But at the end of the day, they need to start the rebuild now. It doesn't need to wait till 2020 after 2022. This needs to happen now. AJ said that low-key I'd rather be a bad team with draft to get good draft picks. I mean, seem like the Bengals and before the season, the Chargers have hope. Yes, and that's the issue that I was talking about in the first time I came on during the halftime show was the Falcons are in a tough spot. The Falcons need to blow this thing up to the point where they don't need to start it. They need to start all the way over. Like I said before, they need to embrace a rebuild and stop playing around, because the longer that they go down this road, you're going to lose your fan base. You're going to lose season ticket holders. Already, the attendance at Mercedes-Benz Stadium was bad tonight. I would love to. I don't know if they have the Falcon Patriot game book, but I would love to see what the attendance numbers were tonight and see how much they lied about those attendance numbers. Because I'm not going to lie to you guys, they lie about attendance numbers sometimes. But if you watch the game, as all of you I know very well did, those numbers, that attendance was bad. Matter of fact, I want to try to look and see what the attendance was for this game. Excuse me, guys. I'm trying to look it up right now and see if did they put it in the box score or the play-by-play. They don't have it just yet. I will get a chance to tell you guys when it does come up. But at the end of the day, this team, or do they have it up? Attendance. Yeah, so they had the attendance listed as 68,286 people. That was the attendance numbers for tonight. 68,286. Let's see. He said that you're a bad team with a slightly above average quarterback who would get a dub against bad teams and loss against good teams with a bad fan base who are fanboys. You couldn't have put it better than you did, honestly. What should we do in the 2022 draft and free agency? Blow it up. That's the best way for me to put it, bro. Blow it up. JD War Eagle McGee said, thank God the Atlanta Braves won the World Series. I can't take anywhere from the Falcons. I feel the same way. My body, the Falcons get my attention because I'm a fan and because they're on at the time. However, they honestly are the stepchild in the city at this point, because you're looking at a defending World Series champion with the Braves coming up. The Hawks came off that amazing run in the Eastern Conference Finals against Milwaukee. The Georgia Bulldogs is number one in the country. Right now, the Falcons have taken the backseat. Oh, let me also mention that the United are in the postseason, if I'm not mistaken. So Daryl Beatty is really concerned about the Falcons, unfortunately, at this point. So that's the bad part about it. Let's see. He said the attendance is probably not bad. People probably walk around. Yeah, that's another reason why the attendance numbers are pretty good. And he said that's pretty decent that people were walking around and wasn't in the seat watching. And that's the one thing that also hurts the Ben's atmosphere, is because the fans don't get there. The fans don't get out there. They don't really show a lot of love and support like they really should. Now, I'm sorry. They don't sit in the seats and make it a really hostile atmosphere like it was in the Georgia Dome. It's so much stuff to do in there. And then when you put a bad product on the field, you're just going for the fun of it. You're just going for the experience. At that point, you're not even going to watch the game or going to have a good time. You're going for the experience of the game, which is sad. AJ said, I mean, at least they're not the dream. I mean, the Dream won the three WNBA finals, so the Dream had their run too. But the Dream had a stretch of consistency. But these guys here, oh God. Z-Gang said Arthur can sell the Falcons and buy the Braves, pay his money for the team. Let me say this about Arthur Blank. Arthur Blank is just as at fault of this situation as the front office and the players. Because Arthur Blank have been, I don't know if he's on here. Shout out to from the Atlanta Bird game, T.D. Jones. He mentioned this as well. Marius Lemons, what's up, bro? He said we sacrificed the Hawks and Falcons for the Braves. Yeah, man. I think Arthur Blank is at fault as well with this situation because the home atmosphere is not the same. Once we start giving out Falcon for life contracts, that was the beginning of the end of our salary cap. We usually do pretty good with salary cap to where we could make a move here and there. We couldn't even do anything the last couple of years because of how bad our cap was. AJ said, I swear when I came to the Dome versus the Saints in 2015 and 16, the place was loud and rocking. I went to the Cardinals game like 2 years ago and it was empty. Yes, the atmosphere is different. They also have priced a lot of people out of that stadium, unfortunately. A lot of folks aren't about to put that kind of money down to go see the Falcons lose. They're not going to get out here and go watch a bad product. And JD said it started with the football. Yeah, it started with those football uniforms, bro. But no, a lot of folks are not going to get out there and go see a team that's not competing. The Falcons, usually, this is probably the worst stretch in Matt Ryan's career at home because Matt Ryan usually is pretty good at home. We usually are at worst 500, do a 6 wins, 7 wins, and this is the sad part about it. AJ said, I'm sure the place will fill out in week 16 when the Lions come. I don't know. The only game the Tampa game is going to be full with Tampa fans in a couple weeks. New Orleans is going to probably. I don't know. That's tough, man. That is tough. But hey, guys, I done gave you guys 3 segments of this show, man. I appreciate you guys being on here. I'm actually going to be on here streaming on another topic tomorrow night if you want to tune back in and give some great feedback. But I definitely want to appreciate y'all appreciation for doing this and coming on here. I got some good ideas coming up for a show. I definitely will be getting on here with a good friend of mine talking about the SEC title game as it gets closer. And I mean, thank goodness we get 10 days from the Falcons. So I'm definitely going to try to put a stream in sometime before then for sure, though. I'm not going to just wait 10 days and give you guys nothing. So we'll definitely be on here talking. If you ever want to be on the show with me, let me know. If you ever have some ideas for me, let me know. You can reach out to me on any of the platforms. But again, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys later.